what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, he's back from the dead. Your show. Putting it on the map, yeah. Saskatoon. Right next to New York. New York. Yeah, what show, yeah. Your show. What time is it? Your show. Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah. Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah?
Yeah, fun Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, move on to treat, yeah. Keep listening.
Hello and welcome to another week of your show here on YouTube. My name is Gary, your busty host, and this is your show. Still, as far as we know, the only live show on YouTube from Saskatoon, Monday to Friday, 4 to 5 p.m. We are so damn proud to be able to say that and to share your show with you because it is your show. We also make up categories. We are number one in on YouTube. For instance, today we are in, it's the Dragon.
No, number one show to have a...
That'd be good too. I was going to say the number one show that has a host who absolutely bombed recording for a produced video earlier this afternoon. That's a cliffhanger. We call that Sylvester Stalloning around here. Before we get to that very exciting story, we also have a cam here that is more famous than anything else that we do. That cam is called the Maggie Cam. And we're going to take a little peek-see now and see what she's up to. She's probably,
Nibbling.
She's going to get the sneezies. This is what she does. Hey, you're on. You're on, girl. Get a big smile. That's the one. The Maggie Cam for our great pals over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. Mike and Rochelle, along with Margaret's beautiful boyfriend Leroy, always there to give you the greatest experience you'll ever have inside a pet store. And if you go after hours or over the weekend, Kirsten, Shar, and Chris are there to help you take care of whatever you need to do, including a state-of-the-art cleaning station that just got cleaned yesterday, as we had one of our family members roll in there looking to get her puppy cleaned, and it was in the middle of cleaning. So she'll have to go back, but it's fantastic. Highly recommend it. Be sure to go and check it out. That is at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. Well done, Margaret. So this will probably be a little easier if I tell this story to the guy sitting beside me. So we will introduce him now. One of our favorite guys in the world. He likes to participate in our conversations with Adrian the Canadian on the other side of the earth every Wednesday. He also hosts a bunch of cool and exciting things around here. His name is Coach Comma 2. I had to remember the comma. There it is. You like that side swipe?
Which camera am I looking at?
This is camera 2 now.
Which one's that?
Middle one.
All right. I struggle with that. Is this too political for you?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Well, no, I love peace, just not the political
version of that.
Talks about it and or religious ways. So, mutual friend, Rhino extraordinaire, as you're wearing the Rhino swag, our buddy Kyle from the Rhinos and also from Stealth Media had me in earlier this afternoon, and we were shooting a produced segment for the Spirit of Cosmo breakfast coming up on November 20th. Be sure to get your tickets and come out and support our friends at Cosmo. And as I walked in, so they have a place over at Innovation Place.
Yep.
And you park in there and then you walk down like a corridor and into another place and an elevator up. It's a real maze, but he had very good directions. And once I got there, we got into this incredible, I guess, suite with the big white backdrop, and they have the green screen capabilities and all this other stuff. And it was Kyle and Igor and a bunch of other people that work at Stealth and a couple of university students as well. So it's sort of like when you go to the doctor and they're like, hey, we have these people that are in-house that are learning stuff. Are you okay if they're there? It's like, yeah, whatever, sure. So they just sit back and watch the process. And we didn't have a teleprompter. And I said, I'm not the best at remembering stuff, but we can try to get through this. So we started going line by line, and I had to remember it and look into the camera and recite the line. And this
You're pretty good at that. Yeah.
Horrible at it. I had no idea how bad I actually was. But Kyle would sit there across from me, and we'd go through the line, and he'd feed it to me, and I'd be like, okay, I got this. Nope, nope, nope. Curse, swear, apologize, try again. And that was a cycle for an hour, to the point where everyone's like fed up with what's going on. It's like, this guy is brutal, and I felt brutal, and it was just the worst time because I was letting all these people down. And then Kyle comes in with an iPad put above the camera as a teleprompter.
Yep.
First take, I did the whole thing, boom, boom, done. And I said,
You're a
thank God. People were actually cheering.
Yeah.
The whole place was cheering because we just wasted an hour, but we got what we needed in that one take. And I said, I'm so sorry. It's like I suffer from Ron Burgundyism. It's like the only way I can really do these things. And so just to get that gratification, at least, to know we got one good take and to have it that easy, I felt so bad but so happy at the same time. So I wasted a lot of time. And Kyle's an incredible dude. So now he was giving me baseball analogies to try to get my mind off of the script at one point. It's like, so you got a guy in first and third. Spuddy's up, or Lampy's up. I was like, Lampy's lefty. He's like, yeah, he is. And he might line it over, so you got to pay attention. He was giving me these scenarios. I'd knock him out and then go right back to screwing up the script. Horribly.
You always have been more of an improv guy. Or if you're given like if that script was handed maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago, you'd read a few things and then you'd maybe ad-lib a little bit here and there.
If I had time to go over it, But it was just handed to me, and it's like, off we go. And we're talking like big words. It's all about like the sensory stuff that they got at Cosmo to help like people that can't really communicate as much. And now I'm going into all the things that I was supposed to say.
And you got it. Like you know it. It's just when it's up.
It was crazy just to go through all that and realize, man, I'm not as good as I thought I was when it was just lines are fed to me, you know. It's a good
Speaking of this, when I was at the what's that golf tournament that we go into?
The Masters.
No, the one that we both participated in, but didn't know that we were in the same tournament.
Oh, the Vipond?
The Vipond Classic, which is for Cosmo,
yeah,
right?
Cosmo, yeah.
So Kyle was there.
Stealth Media did it, yeah.
Yeah, not this past year. I was there the year before, and I had a putt for eagle.
Get out.
And he just happened to be approaching the green. He's like, "What are these putts? What are the stakes here?" And I was like, I've been golfing terribly. I happen to be putting for eagle here, but I've been double everyone up here. He's just like, well, let's get this on camera.
No.
It was a 4-foot putt that I pushed right. And I don't think it was me. I think it was Kyle.
It's the pressure.
It was the pressure.
Of course.
Because I was rolling in double bogeys all the way in there. So
that's a tough tournament, man. I went in there and my back was all jickety janked and it was even worse. Of course, all the excuses. I'm just a really bad golfer is the problem.
Yeah, you got to be able to play through those things. I think if you do anything often, you can weather the storm of life. You know what I mean? If you're good at it.
Reps.
And if you're not that good, sometimes you just fool people. It's like, oh, you're pretty good. It's like, not really. If I was sore or had stress or any other thoughts going through my head, this would be downhill quick. So.
It's all mental. That's why they always say that golf game is all mental. You said you had a story you wanted to share, young man.
Yeah,
do you remember the story?
I hate that. No, because I'm a spur of the moment type fella. Let's try and recap when I said that. I'm also very improv-y.
Nice.
So I saw your dog.
Yes, Margaret.
Your dog was sitting on carpet.
Yes.
And looked at me.
And you were yelling at her.
I have a funny story.
Mm-hmm. You thought she was dragging her butt?
No, not that part.
Okay.
It's gone.
Well, that's interesting.
That's it.
The World Series, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get your thoughts on the Dodgers. The Dodgers coming through in the clutch. Freddie Freeman, apparently now everyone wants to say he's American after he won the MVP of the World Series.
He is American, yeah.
Dual citizenship, played for Canada.
His parents are Canadian, born in the U.S. So I don't know how the rules work. He
played for Canada at the World Baseball Classic.
As a tribute to his mother, yes.
So he's Canadian. It's how it works.
He wouldn't be playing for Canada on the Olympic stage because the classifications at the
leave it to you to complicate.
The World Baseball Championship is they leave it pretty open because they want to headline all the best players in the world. Kind of, I bet you the NHL would even do that, even in this Four Nations Cup. If like Team Finland, someone went down, rather than pulling someone from a Finnish Elite League or the KHL, they might just be like, "Do you have anyone in the NHL have a grandma or grandpa that's from Finland?"
I remember.
Like, I do, and they would play.
It's like
they
Piazza
showcase
playing for Italy.
Those players, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And in Israel and who else could play? Romano plays for Italy because he got snubbed by Team Canada.
I remember.
And then Italy's like, well, we'll have you, so he's going to continue to play there, even though is Romano Canadian or Italian? I've derailed what you've said.
No, it's all good.
Yes, he is dual citizenship. We can own it. We can cheer for Freddie for sure.
Okay, 2 more baseballs for you.
Okay.
Juan Soto coming out saying, I love the Blue Jays. They're coming after me. I'm going to be a Jay. You said that he loves the Blue Jays. Is this almost too good to be true? Everyone's saying he's going to the Blue Jays?
Well, I think if we've learned anything from last year is to don't take anything for granted. And anything you do in life, don't take it for granted because it could slip away at any moment. You
Bye,
could,
Shohei. See you later.
yeah, just anything in life. Like, I think that's the main thing. Be humble. So I
Kendrick
would say
Lamar.
it would be the best for mental health of all Toronto Blue Jays fans if they just let it play out. You know what I mean? Don't read too much Twitters from John
Airplanes coming
Heyman
and
or
going.
some guy that's
JP Morosi.
or
Verducci.
Carlos Baegra.
like him.
He's fun, right? But like, maybe just let it play out. Don't get your hopes up. Make a list. Have a little wish list of players in the positions you'd like filled
Yep.
for upgrades. So it's like, if Bichette's on the trade block, well, maybe in the free agency we're looking at Kim or
Soto.
Soto doesn't play shortstop.
He could.
Willie Adames or something like that. You could be like, oh, that would be nice to pencil them in if we trade Bichette, if Bichette's on the way out, right? So you want to fill that spot, and you need help in the bullpen. So maybe let's not focus on all these high-profile guys. Let's just get our little hopes up that they'll bring in 5 pieces down the depths of the relief pitching.
No, they
Free
want
agency.
Juan Soto and Garrett Cole because he's opted out of his contract, and apparently there's an opportunity for him to come to
while
Toronto.
you're going to the loo, ting on the phone, and Garrett Cole, the Yankees opted in on that extra $36 million.
So they're not letting him leave.
He's not letting him. Yeah,
That was a fun one.
so he was owed $144 million to the end of his contract. Then he played this season, and he's now still owed $144 million. So
all
good
they had
for
to-
him.
So they had to say, you're not going anywhere because we're giving you $33 million or whatever. it is.
36. yeah.
36. Okay.
To be the third highest paid per
And
annum.
that's what you were talking about. Okay.
No,
This
I
is
almost
good.
called him Coach Ryan.
He is a coach. He is a
Okay.
coach.
So there's Coach 1, Coach 2.
Coach
And my
apostrophes,
name's Ryan.
Coach comma 2.
And I'm still not Coach Ryan.
And
That's
Coach
good.
Ryan.
Great.
We like to complicate things here over at the Dufferin Avenue Media Network. You touched on the Four Nations Cup. Please explain to myself and everyone else, what the hell is this thing? Because I haven't heard a thing about it until this weekend.
It's a showcase.
Yes.
And people have been longing for a world showcase
International
for international tournament for the best hockey players in the world. And it's a Four Nations Cup. I thought they could do better, but I know that not delving too deep into politics, that having Russia and, well, really just Russia for hockey anyway, involved would be frowned upon. And then if you have a best on best, then you're not including Russia, then that's not really a best on best either. So what the NHL decided to do is borrow something from rugby, borrow something from soccer, but more rugby have these types of showcases around the world. But they'll have a Four Nations Cup or a Three Nations Cup, and it's just a series of exhibitions where some of the best players representing those countries, particularly the NHL, they'll be the best players that play in the NHL. I don't think any of these teams will have non-NHL players. Maybe North American players. There might be some AHL players that get on there, but I don't think there'll be any players from Europe, which will still be exciting. I don't know. It's new for hockey. It doesn't seem like the full-on 8-team tournament or 12-team tournament. It's just like, what is this for? It's just an exhibition that hopefully nobody gets hurt in.
When is it going down?
No idea.
No idea. Is it like this year? Like
Pretty
this
sure.
season? Sorry, this playing season?
They're naming captains.
That's
as
what I
we
was
speak.
asking, 'cause
Sid
they're
the
talking
Kid
about the
is
teams, yeah.
unofficial captain.
Yeah, okay. So you got Canada, the United States, Sweden, and Finland, I believe. Is that correct?
Correct.
And I'm assuming if they're doing this during the season, it would be during the All-Star break, because that's sort of how they squeeze these things in. When they had the Olympics, they did that.
I don't know. I'm fighting the urge of
Looking it up.
grabbing a phone and
Don't
telling
look
you,
it
but
up.
I'm doing
That
my
doesn't
best
really
not to do
matter.
that. I'm usually that.
We're talking
that
about
guy.
it now.
Yeah,
which
I'm not
means
sure. I
that
didn't look
it's-
it up.
Yeah.
It hasn't meant that much to me. Will I
That's what
pay
I'm getting
attention
to,
to it?
yeah.
Yeah, but it's new. It's a brand new idea. So
Sort of like the NBA and their stupid little tournament they have in the middle of the
but it's
downtime,
still,
they call it, in
there-
December.
It's a tournament, but it still counts for the regular season. It's just worked into the season, and
Yeah.
the games just maybe mean a little bit more.
Which
So
they
maybe,
don't at all.
I don't know. Some people liked them. Who won it last year? The Lakers?
Yeah.
Right. I knew that, I guess.
And the whole thing became like they're just doing it for the players to, like the bench players, to make some extra cash. We
Phenom's got a
something here. Here we
hand
go.
in there.
Here we go. So in 2025,
Oh, it's not official.
They haven't even planned it yet. I'm assuming it'll be
Canada, Finland, Sweden, the U.S.
And there-
25 round-robin tournament followed by a one-game final.
there it is.
So I would assume this would be a copy of the World Baseball Classic that we were talking before, and it might be a preseason thing. So teams might be doing their preseason gigs while these guys are playing in this tournament, and it'll be almost like them getting their preseason games in.
I see what you're saying. That'll be like their build-up.
It'll be their own build-up for the season.
Okay. Interesting.
And they'll play that, and they'll get their reps in that way, as we say around these parts, right, Gary? Reps.
I love reps. Very important. They need to.
I wish I could tell you something about reps. I can't. It has to do with Grant Hansen, and that's all I can say if Spuddy's watching right now,
We
which
love you,
he's
Spuddy,
not.
so
that'll be
much.
fine.
So the consensus on this whole tournament is that Canada is the favorite right now going in. That's according to the gamblers out there. And the big takeaway is that Canada is extremely strong at center with Connor, and then with Nathan, and then with Sydney, going down 1, 2,
correct,
3.
yeah.
But besides that, though, apparently they don't got much else. The goaltending for Canada is horrible. The United States has one hell of a goaltending roster, and no one's even really mentioning the other two. So it's basically they're already saying it's a Canada versus U.S. thing, which I think is
Right.
jumping
I was
ahead a
going to
little bit.
pull. I like how I didn't. I said I wasn't going to do this, but I pulled it up because I nerd out and I love lists. So I think I have my Team Canada team on here.
I was really hoping that you would have that
Canada.
because you send me all sorts of rosters and ideas about all sorts of things all the time.
McDavid. Oh, Olympics. Maybe Olympic projections. Oh no, Team Canada 2026. I have.
Oh boy, there you
So
go.
what does that mean?
That probably means that Connor Bedard's on there too.
That's what it means. So
That's what that means.
So I have. Yeah, don't. That'd be sweet.
A couple of them.
Just a Connor. You know what? I
Well,
love doing
Connor
that.
Hellebuck
One of my
is the
favorite
guy
things-
over at the U.S.
Yeah.
Sorry. Continue.
No, that's fine. One of my favorite things, even though you're not on the show yet.
He's
but
on the show.
I like making teams of Smiths or teams of whatever a popular name is.
Johnson.
Yeah, in the sport of which you're drafting.
Yeah.
I'll try and draft all the same last name guys. And it usually is terrible because
It's not that many.
you can't think of that many
tough.
Johnsons that dominate the NFL. So I have on this list that I have no idea when I made it, March 30th of 2024. I had Nuge, McDavid, Barzal.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so not weak. Reinhart, McKinnon, Marner.
Ooh.
Verhaeghe, Crosby, Bedard. I don't know how Verhaeghe's doing this year, so he might bounce.
Yeah.
Then I have Point centering Stamkos and Tavares.
See, I'm pretty sure most of those guys were on the list that I saw.
And then I think my defense is way out to lunch, probably. But I don't know, Gary.
Let's hear it. Everyone's riveted right now.
Here's a throw. I got Josh Morrissey, so that's auto. He's unreal right now
He's very good.
in 7 games.
Is he the captain in Winnipeg?
No.
Definitely assistant.
Yes.
Yeah. Very
Adam Lowry.
good. There you go.
Drew Doughty, I have his little throw to Drew Doughty if
Love
he
that
can get
guy.
healthy, but
Yeah.
he might be out there. Then I got Riley and Dobson.
Jeez. Okay.
Maybe not. That might be a little deep. I got Thomas Chabot, which he won't be there, but I did think that in March. And a guy named Dunn.
Vince Dunn.
Oh, yeah.
I think the defense is a little off.
Yeah.
Who you got in net?
I got Connor Ingram, little Saskatoon shout out, and Tristan Jarry.
Jari. Okay.
That's who I got here. Reserves, we got Horvat, Scheifele probably should be on that list. Shea Theodore. Bouchard will be on the team
Yeah. Boosh.
now
is
that
on
he had
there.
that run. Chitrin. And then we got, that's it.
Very interesting.
Do you want to hear the American team or should we move on? Actually, my uncle gave me permission to do this. Maybe I'll do this Wednesday.
Are you sure? I know it's a little bit time sensitive. We got a special thing that Coach wants to do.
Well, I'd like to do it, but I think
Let's do it Wednesday before we talk to AJ,
yeah, we'll do it Wednesday.
just so we give it the proper time because we're getting up against
It's
that.
a little bit. Well, I'm seeing the time frame and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So
No, so we'll do that. Mark that in for Wednesday. A special tribute coming up then. One more for you. The NFL over the weekend had highlights galore. Galore. Going all the way back to Thursday.
if you didn't watch the highlight package, go on the YouTubes that we are streaming on.
We're on there right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Stay on here after the show and stream highlights from week 9 of the NFL. It's wild. So I didn't miss them. So I walked in here. Network Ryan, Coach Ryan is talking about this catch for the Jets game. I was like, yeah, I saw that catch was unreal. He's like, the diving one hand. I was like, yeah. And I was like, no, wait. I'm thinking of the one in Seattle
With Seattle and
that
LA.
the Rams caught in OT to end the game.
End
And the Seahawks couldn't get a half a yard with fourth down to push with 30 yards, kick the field goal, kick it, play defense. Your defense has been good. Maybe the same thing happens and you'd have tons of regret. But anyway, that catch was unreal. The one, though, the highlight of the year, for sure, is the reverse hurdle by Saquon Barkley.
How
Sugar Maple Barkley.
Sugar Maple?
If he was
Saquon?
Canadian, yeah.
Sugar Maple
the
Barkley.
the next running back that comes out will be Sugar Maple.
That's very
Barkley.
exciting. So yeah, just to give you an idea, it was like hitting the outside, then he does a juke, and then he does a spinorama, and then while facing his own end zone, jumps up and does almost a cheerleader, like both legs in the air and like arms down, while the guy goes right underneath him. Like he literally had his junk on that dude's back.
It was over.
And
It cleared it.
Still gained yardage after. It was one of the
And
most
a pushback afterwards.
exciting
another 3-4
plays.
years.
Yeah, it was just
Or 4
crazy
yards.
to have that. And to see something like that, like these guys are still being so innovative in this league. And it says a lot about Saquon too, because to have the awareness, the spatial awareness they call it, where you're in those tiny, he's like in a phone booth the entire time and just jumping around people.
Yeah, it's like, does he have a sixth sense? How did he sense that player? Like, you play the game enough, you know that if you're being
can feel it.
group tackled,
Yeah.
you're more are coming. So right, but it's just like, it's crazy that he did that one spin, and you obviously know that his peripherals are so insane, elite, at full tilt, that he knows someone's coming from this direction. So even though he's spinning to avoid whichever, he can then sense in time what he needs to do and jump. And so many times you try and do something like that and it doesn't work.
Oh, yeah.
But just
Well, man.
I don't ever try it, so not so many times. But I imagine pro athletes try things in games that don't
sure.
happen.
Doesn't work out
It
well.
doesn't work out.
Well, there was a
but
bunch of
that was
examples of that too, like guys throwing their receivers into the trolley tracks, like Derek Carr and your boy Olave there,
Bye-bye.
putting them right in the trolley tracks, and had literally 4 guys destroy. It was so like horrible to watch, and it's one of those times right after like he wasn't moving, and it was oh boy, and he'd already had a concussion this year. So there's that other side to it too, where these guys try to do these things, and it does not work out well at all.
That one was pretty innocent. There was also one in the NHL yesterday as well, another freak accident where it was just a clean body check, and yeah, dude just falls.
The guys are
awkwardly.
getting too big and strong, and the
I
equipment.
don't know. It's
the,
pretty.
The Kevlar equipment.
Sometimes you just fall. Sometimes you get up and you hurt your back just standing. You know,
I did that last
things
week.
just happen.
Yeah, it's tough.
What do you think of this? And this is going in the wrong direction, especially after a guy takes a massive conky. But I think he'll be back. I think Olave would be back. But love it when you call me Big Papa is one of my fantasy football names. And is that too much?
I thought it was great.
That's good.
I think it's
Okay,
very,
cool.
very punny on a lot of levels.
Good. Thank you.
You also had an Olave branch one too, didn't you?
Yeah. Olave branch. What's that? Olave garden?
Olave garden.
Yeah, I had a theme of Olaves when he was going to be the thing.
That's what he does. So just to close this out, we had the Garrett Wilson one-handed falling diving super grab on the Thursday. We had the Rams big finish with the grab.
That wasn't
and we had
Paco. Who was that?
Puka Nacua
Johnson, maybe?
Puka
or
was kicked out. Van Jefferson.
Jefferson, maybe did it?
DeMarcus Robinson.
Do you know who
It was DeMarcus Robinson, number 15.
Robertson.
Yeah, and it was a hell of a play. And Saquon, who had the best play.
Watch those. Go watch those. Go watch them. It's unreal. Like, even if you don't like football, and you think it's barbaric, just go watch how beautiful it can be. And then don't
a
watch
beautiful
the
game.
injury clips.
There was lots of injuries too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like the headshots, like all of them were headshots still too, and targeting calls, and then they're still missing them. Like it's the game moves so fast. It moves
There was
so
one, though,
unbelievably
that
fast.
was called a head, and then they went and reviewed it,
and it wasn't.
and it wasn't. That was, again, I was watching that Seattle game, and it was just a
Yeah.
clean, perfect hit. So, guys, and in the dude that made the hit, though, you know they're adjusting, because everything they're doing, and I only played football for a short time in high school, but about form tackling and getting stuff, and we would lead with our heads all the time, and we it wasn't noticed and it's not being recorded. So I'm guessing high school football still has the same mistakes as you're learning to make these hits, which is the scary part. You're learning and you're not good at it, and that's usually when kids get hurt. But you can tell how they're adapting, because when he went in, he adjusted his body, moved his head away from contact so much that he knows that he would follow through a little bit, and he made this huge all-shoulder hit to the solar plexus.
Exactly. How you're
And it
supposed to.
looked like it was going to be it had to be head contact with how heavy that guy went
violent
back.
it was,
And
yeah.
it was so beautiful. It was a great hit.
You letting your kids play football?
I would let them play if they wanted to play, but no, they're not interested. I mean, everything's so time consuming. So in fall, we're just wrapping up baseball, so we'd be getting after the football if the kids wanted to, and it's just not something that we've got
But
into.
if they wanted to get into it, you'd have no problem letting them play tackle football?
I'd have no problem with it. No, I think they'd both be really good at it. I think Louis should do it, but they might not. Who knows? Flag football would be fun too. Any types of football. They like playing it, but yeah, the year's short to fill it all
No kidding.
up, and the seasons seem to be getting longer and longer. So it's not like here's a 2-month sport, here's a 2-month
Yeah.
sport, here's a 2-month sport.
I've talked to a bunch of parents, and it sounds like the general consensus is most of them don't want their kids getting hit that hard, the way football's played now.
I don't know.
But that's exactly why flag football's in the Olympics, next Olympic run, because that's becoming a more attractive option as people realize that the chronic traumatic encephalopathy isn't really the best way to go sometimes if you're susceptible to that sort of thing.
I don't know. Then no MMA, no boxing.
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
neither way
Let's just
either.
have.
That's a tough choice to make.
I don't know. I know we're not preparing for war. We're not in the military, so they think this is a sport of leisure, so there shouldn't be inherent life risks going on. We don't need to invest all this money and put ourselves at risk of major injury and having
That's
issues.
a great point
brain,
too, though.
but
Another sport that you have to get everyone to while you're doing all the other sports and all the other activities and everything else. It's hard. It's hard to be a parent nowadays, isn't it?
so hard to do it all, yeah. So if you're not going to a school that has that, participate in school sports for sure. If you're not, like my kids aren't going to a school that's an option for them. Basketball is an option, so Jacoby plays basketball and
Nice.
has fun with that. But yeah, no, it's tough to do it all.
Very well said.
And then learning to fight and grapple and all that stuff. People are into that stuff too. It's awesome.
Just do something, I guess.
Do something.
Do something.
Be
Don't
active.
be like me. Don't
Play the
be
piano.
the guy that just stays in the house and never leaves. It's not good for you.
You walk, you get your steps in.
Yeah, from the house to the garage.
I would like to actually get you to wear my
a step counter for like
just
a week.
for a day and see what we do. You know what? I bet you'd be surprised. I bet you'd be pleasantly surprised that it's not as bad as you think.
I think
bet
we should
you're
do
getting-
that.
I bet you're getting 4,000 steps a day, which isn't enough, Gary. But I bet you're doing at least that.
I hope so. Okay, that's something
And
we
you
should
have
do.
a small footprint. You're wearing out. I'm surprised that there's not more, like the rug's not more chewed up than it is. And we didn't even discuss this, and it's about time that someone did. This place looks incredible. So some people at the Dufferin Avenue Media Network spent a lot of time and effort getting this place a
lot of
little bit
rage.
more
Yeah.
easy to work in, I'd say. Accessible, more respectable looking when people come in, and it's not just
Oh, you're making
cables-
Coach Ryan over
cables
there so
on the
happy
floor.
right now with these words.
But yeah, it's a little bit more professional. So you get in here, and now it looks like a proper set, not just the set created waiting to be proper.
Wow,
one
that's
thing
catchy.
Is
Tag.
a great idea that Coach Ryan and LB came up with is they figured that we should get little cups, little holes, if you will, for
Interesting.
putting, so we can have putt challenge, but they would also mark where the cameras go.
Boy, oh boy.
And that was all their idea. So if it happens, I'm for it. It was a great idea they
A
had.
putt challenge sounds like an incredible idea. Maybe a way to raise money for organizations and foundations around town. Like it'd take a real monster to say no to that, wouldn't it?
It would be. That would be super fun, and we have the space to do it.
We do.
A few little more tidying up needs
Yep.
to be done, but almost if maybe the holes were in the center of where the cameras go,
Like mark them almost.
then they're not actually marked there, but you'd be able to.
we're gonna
have something.
get the. Let's head on over to camera 4 there, LB, to the Maggie cam again. Let's have a look. See, this is what he's talking about right here. Look at that putting green.
That's beautiful. And chipping green.
And chip. Well, they won't
And the
let us chip.
fringe.
You're lucky they're even talking about us being allowed to putt. Well,
Well, you could get a phaser. Have you ever seen the phaser golf club?
No, it sounds cool.
It's like a double 1 iron almost.
Oh
It's
yeah,
less
I've seen
than a
those
1
like
iron.
little
The
chippers.
the
Yeah,
little phasers.
That's
Those are so good. They get you out of a lot of trouble when you just need to putt because you're not good enough with your 8 iron or your little chip, your little approach. But you get a little phaser and you just do a little putt stroke and it gets you up over the lip and rolling on the green.
It sounds very safe. Wiffle balls? Wiffle balls okay?
What's wrong with wiffles? You can get the foam golf balls.
The
too.
problem here, Coach, comma 2, is that we have thousands of dollars in top of the line cameras and microphones and lights
see
that LB spent his entire life putting together. If you would love to utilize it though, check this out. You can contact us. Hold on, I got this, LB. You can contact us
My arm doesn't
at
bend that way.
dufferinave.com.
there it is.
Check it out, everybody. You can let us know what you want to do at dufferinave.com. It's more than a website, it's the best.
If you call right now, not only will you get
Is this a telethon?
Yes.
Keep going. Let's stop.
You stopped me.
This is your big finish.
For every business that visits the website and works to or makes an attempt to work with us, I will cut Gary's hair live on one show.
I'm so happy you decided to do that right now instead of down the line when a lot more people are going to be watching as we continue to grow. Mom and Dad, my dad's trying to get me to trim up too. I'm going to go get it all trimmed up.
I'll do it for you.
For the Spirit of Cosmo breakfast.
I cut my own hair.
You look great. I
It
was
doesn't
wondering
look
if you got
terrible.
out
It
of the
looks pretty
shower.
bad.
You look great.
It looks great for a guy that cut his own hair.
This
I got a
looks
little
even
bit
better.
tired of my
It's
hair
very good.
one day.
He is my favorite guy. Coach Comma 2, thank you so much, buddy, for coming in and talking some sports with us. We greatly appreciate it. And we will get you back on Wednesday to take care of that little tribute we got planned.
Yeah, and I'm sure AJ's got something planned too. So
Perfect. It'll be a lot of fun. Hey, Coach Comma 2! Oh, man.
adios.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, dude. I thought your ideas were fantastic, by the way.
The ones I just repeated.
The whole thing. It was incredible. As we continue on the Monday edition of your show, we didn't really talk about the Rider game over the weekend. Boy, oh boy. That was some serious football right there. As the boys came out, didn't have a full house, but they got a couple thousand in, which was nice to see. A lot of the hardcore a lot of the hardcore fans did not like seeing the amount of fans that were there. Luckily, we got an insider in-house right here that can get us all caught up with everything from the game. You know him as the co-host of The Viewing Room, the face that built the place. It's LB!
Yay.
Woo! You're not as amped up as I thought you'd be after a big win.
I was
There you
more
go.
amped up the other night.
Were you screaming at the TV?
No,
No, not that amped up,
not that amped up.
but a little amped up.
I didn't have a need.
Your fanism's getting called out. So you're not that big of a fan, obviously.
No, I just didn't have a need to scream at the TV too much.
It was a pretty
know?
secure game.
You know,
Bye, Coach. I love you, buddy.
It was overall it was a solid game. We didn't have too many issues, and that's like that was one of the things I was feeling as I was watching it is like it's coming together. All the things we've been saying over the years, or over the year, is like
Or
you know,
years. You could say years.
Years, I
It's-
suppose.
It holds
It's
here.
like all these issues, and I feel like it's all coming together. For the most part.
To be fair, I asked if you were worried, and you said not in the least, and you actually got upset because you couldn't understand why anyone thought it was going to be even close. It was a little close. A little bit, but
Yeah.
like we said, a comfortable win. Basically until our boy Roland Milligan had that last final pick.
Well,
it
and
was
Nelson
still up in the
Macombo,
air.
There was two of them right near the end there.
Yeah,
4
that's a
minutes
good
and
point.
47 seconds.
Only in the CFL,
Yeah.
hey? Could you get that many chances with that little time?
Yeah.
But BC rolls in, and first thoughts on the crowd. Were you as pissed off as most of Rider Nation when it comes to the attendance at said playoff game?
Well, I mean, obviously, I want to see the stadium packed
Of
every
course.
game, obviously, but not really pissed because it's the first season where we're actually in the postseason since 2021. It's going to take time for people to get back. Like really, I mean, We got what, 20? What was the attendance? 24, 25,000?
No, it was more than that. It was like damn near 27, 28. I think I saw.
That's pretty good compared to what it has been all
right there,
season, right?
yeah.
I mean, it was around the early 20s for most of the season. So
Yeah.
I'm not mad. As long as there's an improvement, we're good.
Okay, I wonder if it's more of an age gap thing because some of the older fans I've seen on the social medias were pretty upset that Riderville couldn't sell out a home playoff game. And the home playoff game has been the big thing that everyone says
Yeah.
they want. That's all we want. That's all we want. And then
Yeah.
they finally get one and people don't show up.
I mean, I'm not going to complain too much because it's expensive.
Yep.
You know, like
It's cold.
it's cold.
Yeah.
So, you know, and it's also it's a Saturday. A lot of people work Saturdays. You know, like I mean, where's the Sunday playoff games? You know,
It's a great
I think
point.
Sunday playoff games would be better.
Well, the
but,
NFL, I think, is sort of the big
True.
thing in the way there for them.
but it's not like anybody here's going to an NFL game.
No, I'm
If you're going
with
to
you.
an NFL game, you can afford to go to a CFL game.
I saw some tickets were like $35, $36. Like they
Yeah.
had the
They're
prices
pretty
looking
cheap
good.
for like
And-
your cheap tickets.
Yeah, and the game time walk up was a pretty good chunk of that. So I'm with you. I feel like that was a pretty good showing, all things considered. Just with attendance being down as a whole in the whole league, right? Like the Riders are still second in attendance this year, and people are acting like it's like the worst thing in the world. But
It's
'cause-
just the CFL, the state it's in, you know.
it's frustrating that people can't just be happy with something that really good that happened. You had a quarter, like, okay, Trevor Harris, thoughts on the quarterbacking position?
Good. I mean, you know, like he's playing well, playing consistently. I don't see any glaring issues with him.
Anything you are worried about?
The thing I still have been saying for weeks or noticing for weeks is the defense and the way we're playing this always zone defense. And I think this is going to really bite us against Winnipeg.
Oh boy.
Is our DBs drop way back and our safety drops way back and our linebackers all blitz. So what you have is the quarterback under pressure and your DBs all covering the long
threat.
ball.
Yeah.
So what's wide open in the middle? The short routes, which he can throw to quickly and get them a first down. They don't have to make the big plays. If they just keep picking those first downs.
Dinkin and Duncan.
Right.
Yeah.
And it eats up time and gets them down the field. And that's what I'm the most worried about, especially with the receiving core that Winnipeg has. Like, and how like strong big and strong some of their receivers are. They'll be able to get it and get those yards afterwards to just get it in, you know.
Yeah, they had a crazy stat during the game talking about that plus 26 turnover ratio, which is like unheard of
Yeah.
in the CFL.
Yeah.
And to see that, it makes you wonder, how are they not undefeated? Hey, like how can you have that big of a ratio? But because, like you say, the
Because
defense
They're so
is-
focused on turnovers that, and I
They're
think
leaving that
it's
middle
hurting
open.
them.
Yeah.
Like I just want to see man coverage a little bit more, covering that 10-yard line. Like even if the safety didn't drop,
Yeah, just put
right?
someone
Like, put
in
the
there.
safety at the 10-yard, and then at least you're going to get some of them because you
Yeah.
only have to do it once, and then they're on second down,
Yeah.
and so like I don't know.
Okay. So now BC done.
Yeah,
The Riders
BC out.
going to Winnipeg. Ugh, just gross even saying that. Hey, you got it. It's like Banjo Bowl 2.0 with everything on the line.
Yeah.
How can Saskatchewan win this game? What do they have to do?
Control the run.
Ooh, yeah,
getting
Mr.
cold.
MOP, hey?
Yeah, don't get me going on that again. Don't get me going on that again. No, it's all about the run. I mean, it's getting colder, so it's all whenever it gets into cold weather, it's all about the run. And with the Riders having a great run defense and Ouellette and Armstead both healthy, that's how we're gonna win the game is controlling the run.
You think that two-headed dragon could be as successful as this past game?
I honestly didn't think they were that successful this game.
Interesting.
Like individually they were, but I didn't see them like you know, everybody was talking about this, and I didn't really think they used it, really. I mean, Ouellette played most of the game, which is great. Like, he did well.
Workhorse.
But, like, Armstead, you know, I wanted to see a little bit more of him, and I wanted to see them really try and use that double backfield.
Yeah, line them up at the same
Right?
time, yeah.
And that happened a few times, but it was not very many in comparison to what they each got individually, which is great, and I think that's a strategy, is line them up individually. but I want to see them working together and really changing them out and giving them more equal opportunities.
Okay. And you did say you're worried about those big receivers in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
With that run, you got to stack it up against the run to get Oliveira to slow him down.
Yes.
How the heck are they going to be able to do both?
Well, one's defense, one's offense.
No, I mean stopping the run while also stopping those receivers from getting behind him.
Well, that's where, like I said, I think we need the safety to stay up or something like that, and then the DBs drop back to cover the deep ball, because Winnipeg's receiving core is great, but then like the pressure on the line.
So we're looking to just send the house all game. Send them all. Eat them up.
Well, I mean, obviously not the whole game. I'm not a coaching expert.
Yeah, no, hey,
so
that's why you're here, dude.
You know,
I love the idea of having a Rider Insider that isn't tainted by all of the garbage out there that can get in your head over years and years and years of being around the team.
I mean, I'm just armchair, coaching.
That's what we
right?
want.
And
yeah,
it's like,
that's
I'm
it. You're
probably
everybody
way off,
watching
but who
right
cares,
now. No, but everyone watching right now is exactly like you. That's what I mean. It's a new look at sort of this stuff that we heard year in, year out, everybody talk about over and over again. Yeah. And my sort of final thoughts on this, Zach Collaros, the dude, man. I hate to take you back, LB, to I guess it would be week 4 or week 5 of this year when you said the Bombers are done. They have no chance. Zach Collaros is garbage. Everything there, the worst. So excited to see them just fail. And then they come out and be the same old Bombers. Has Collaros won you back? You still think he's got that potential to put one on you?
Oh, absolutely.
There it is.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it that Winnipeg has somehow managed to go from a shitty team to a contending team.
It seems like out of nowhere.
And actually, I was reading the odds. Winnipeg has the shortest. They've now moved ahead of Montreal to win the Grey Cup.
Nice.
It's Winnipeg, Montreal, Toronto Riders.
So
we're facing the long odds. I think I feel like we can beat Toronto. Like, I really don't think Toronto deserves to be ahead of us. Winnipeg and Montreal, sure. Even Montreal, I think we can beat. The way they've been playing lately, we can beat Montreal. So I think we deserve either second or third in that list, but we're still going to beat Winnipeg because it's Winnipeg and we're the Riders. But,
Coach Ryan says you should be worried about Toronto after putting up 58 on Ottawa.
It's friggin' Ottawa. Ottawa put 38 up on them.
That's a good point, too. Damn near 100 points scored.
Yeah, that was 96 points in that game.
Yeah. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, do we know when the game is? This has to be a Sunday game, right?
It's the
West
Saturday.
Final? Again.
They're putting both of them on the Saturday. The East
guess.
Finals at 2 o'clock CST, and
the West will be
West
the night
is
game?
at 5:30.
5:30.
Yeah.
Set your DVRs or whatever the kids say for something catchy to talk about a game this weekend. Saturday, not Sunday. This Saturday we find out, will the boys be going to the Grey Cup? All they got to do is just beat their old quarterback and a team that was thrown into the garbage after weeks.
Well, you wanted me to, you were talking about Claros. Oh, they're not gonna, they're not gonna make it anywhere. And then, you a few months ago, if they make it to the Grey Cup, then I'll,
We'll send you. This is what I mean. I was cheering. Full disclosure, I was 1,000% cheering for BC because I told LB if they make it to the Grey Cup, we will find a way to get them there and to cover the game. And I still stand by that. So I don't want to say go Bombers. I'm not going to say go Bombers. Just saying. Rider Insider, international man of mystery, face that built the place. His name is LB. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that. And go Riders, go.
Go Riders. Don't be like this guy.
I'm not worried about the flights. We got a bunch of air miles that we can hopefully throw down. I'm just starting to get worried about lodging. We might have to get you to stay at a CCO house. Who's our CCO contact in Vancouver with the cat? Keels?
Rusty Trump Jones. Please say Rusty Trump Jones.
It is Rusty Trump Jones, isn't it? It is. Yeah. Maybe he could stay with Rusty Trump Jones.
Hey, he just messaged me.
Oh, his ears were burning as we continue on the Monday edition of your show. We've talked with Coach, 2. We've talked with our Rider Insider LB. I saw the other half of the viewing room, the co-host, La Dragon, showing up, getting ready to do a viewing room right after the show today. Guess I better look at this camera. It is now time to introduce a brand new character, a man we've never met before. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Ryan.
That's it. What's up? Woo.
Coach Ryan.
I even got the wipe transition. Do you see that?
That's what I was telling LB. We got to get all, there he goes. We got to get all the boys trained up now. I think we're ready to take that next step and get real creative with our swipes.
Yeah, it's a good thing I set that up
So
for him.
look at it. That's too much me.
I get caught off the show.
Hi. How about this one? Hi, I'm Ryan. I'm
man.
Coach Ryan. No, I'm
Oh,
Coach
man.
Ryan.
So good. So good.
Dude, let's talk a little more about these renovations real quick.
Man, you had a great conversation with Coach, two.
Nice.
Coach also.
Nailed that.
Coach also.
Coach.
And he's got such a unique form of comedy that most
Yes.
people, when they're watching, I'm sure they don't even know he's being funny.
Very dry.
Well, very dry, but really smart, as in when he was talking about the putting things, making us think it was our idea, but really it was his. Come on.
That was pretty good.
Come on.
I thought that was
and
great.
when he's talking about his kids and sports and concussions, that is something that I would love to sit down and drink a beer with him and
It's interesting,
pick his
right?
brain on
Yeah,
it and
'cause-
pick your brain on it too, because you know a lot about concussions and
Yeah.
sports, having played, having covered it at the old place.
Yeah, man.
And
Have you noticed that too, though? Like, there's a lot of parents out there who are saying they don't want their kids
Yep.
playing football.
Yeah, very much. I've noticed that. And like I've come on and talked about before, trends in how things work, trends in media, trends in traveling, trends in adolescent or youth sports is changing. You look at the age when kids are taught to hit in hockey now is older than it used to be.
Ugh.
And education and education around learning how to hit and tackle in football, and the age at which parents, if they do want their kids to do collision sports, that age is a lot older now. People
Yeah.
are playing, and like even in Saskatoon Minor Football Association and their flag football program starts for 7-year-olds and goes up to adult age group for
You're going to the Olympics now.
yeah, for people who don't ever want to play tackle sports. And I'm not saying one is better than the other or one's right, or I'm not saying that it's wrong to put your kids in tackle or collision sports prior to a certain age. I'm just saying that the conversation is worth having. And I think that Coach also is well versed on it because he's had a couple kids now.
He's in there.
His experience is greater than mine, having a sporting family before I did, and
Yeah.
he's gone through some of that ringer with kids that play ball and school sports and stuff, and
Yeah, I
that's
feel like
interesting to me.
we can rally back to that at some point, I think, because there is a lot to talk about there.
Yeah.
For sure, when it comes to
had to fix
all
my
of that
seat.
stuff. You're right.
I had to fix my seat. Yeah,
This is good. There was a quarterback for, I believe it was the top flag football team in America, who said that in flag football, he's a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson, than Patrick Mahomes. He says,
relatively speaking.
yeah, like in his sport.
Yes, you know
Which
what?
blew my mind that
it's-
you could say that and have nobody be like,
It's
oh
a
my
different
God.
game. It's
Yeah.
a different game. It's like me saying I'm a better tennis player than you if you're a professional hockey player. They are different sports,
Yeah.
and sure, they both have football attached
It's like
to them.
CFL and the NFL.
Yeah, the game is different. The rules are different. Even and I'll even put my stamp on this. Having a wife that plays competitively, has gone to nationals for flag and touch football.
Shout out, Rebecca.
Flag and touch football are different enough games that you can be good at one and not the other. The play calling is different. The strategy is different. The zone defenses, the man-on-man coverage, and when it's appropriate, is all different. It's a different game.
Yeah.
And I think that that's cool because, I mean, you know me, I'm a Magic the Gathering player. I love strategy games, right? I love to break down the strategy behind gaming and kind of the psychology behind it. And I guess that's why I'm Coach. What did he call me? Coach
Ryan.
I'm Coach. How did I get labeled with that?
Well,
There's like
'cause-
6 other coaches before me, and I got to use my first name.
It just happened, man. We don't fight it. We don't go against the nicknames around here.
Yeah, we just let
Network
it all
Ryan
in.
was getting old. You ready for what do they call it in the Pokemons where you transform
I
into
evolved.
Yes, you've evolved.
I've evolved.
From Network Ryan to Coach Ryan.
That's it.
It's mostly just so we don't ever call Ryan. We call Coach Ryan.
Yes.
So Coach, comma 2,
Also.
AKA.
Coach also.
Yeah. We do call him Coach Mazer sometimes.
Yes.
You're welcome, Dragon.
Dragoon.
Dragoon. He just said his brain has melted from all of this stuff as we continue. We got a couple minutes to go. You mentioned the Magic the Gathering. There's a big time event going on in Calgary, not
thought-
this weekend, but next weekend.
I thought we were talking about the studio.
Well,
All
we
the-
were, and then
all
you
the
stopped-
work that LB and I put in.
We were, and then you said that we were
Hours
making
and
fun of
hours
it.
of labor. You drove us with a lash of many thongs. I got a taste of my own medicine.
I thought we moved on from it. Go there first, then we'll finish with that. Tell us about
Okay. Oh, I love finishing on the internet. Well, we made a plan for, we had a date night. LB and I had a date night on
beautiful.
Friday to pull cable, if you know what I mean. And we
The
did.
innuendos were outrageous the entire night for the record.
I've been
All of them. They
I've
were
been
horrible.
innuendoing the whole time I've been on the show.
Yes, you have.
But
Sort of your thing.
he pulled apart the computer and everything attached to it. I thought, hey, we're gonna pull some cables, relabel the stuff that's out here. He's like, no,
That's
if
not
we're
how it
doing
works, yeah.
if we're doing it, I'm doing it all. So I was here till 11 p.m.
Yeah.
when we finished like the bulk of the pulling and the screwing and the zip tying. We
Yes.
went there and the taping.
So much.
Tape involved. I wanted to put tape on his mouth. Gary said no.
What are those things called? The fish hooks? The fish sticks?
Oh, there was hooking too. Yeah.
Yeah, the fish sticks were
When
an issue for a while.
when we got it down to a one-person job, when LB was putting the computer back together, I want to say he was here for a couple more hours till
Oh, yeah.
about 1,
Yeah.
and he got it all ready. The next day I walked in and she's clean. I had to do some zip tying, like frick, and I had to do everything. But I cut some zip ties and coiled up some cables, and now it's clean and just in time for me to not be half hobbling and half kind of crippled around the studio. It's clean. So thanks, guys, for supporting me over the last 2 months.
Yeah. All of those things that could have just conked you right out have now moved just in time for your fully healed leg to enjoy.
Yeah, fully healed. We're going to go with that.
Let's try to be positive.
But yeah, it looks great, and it gives us the opportunity to utilize the turf on the floor for putting championships, competitions, some charity work. If anybody is interested in a little charity putt off, maybe Bamford and Co will come in. They'll have a little Bamford putt off.
I'll tell you right now, the Bamford bros, all three of them.
There's
Greg, Kev,
three
and
of
Ryan,
them?
there's three. Yeah, I went to school with the middle one, Kev.
Oh.
Hey, Kev, I love him. So all three of them, incredible golfers.
No way.
Fantastic golfers. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Ever since
all
we
they
were
do
young,
is
they've been
frickin'
so
golf
good.
instead of work. All they do is podcast instead of work.
They do put on one hell of a podcast. Look, there it is.
There it is. Yeah.
New one coming up on Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, we have this all set up, and one of the big sort of precipices for that was the second studio that you guys have been working on. You want to touch on that real quick?
Yeah, I am excited for the second studio. I'm looking past the camera at where
Looking
it
at
is.
it
I've
right
been
now, yeah.
visualizing it every time I've been on. 2 times in like the course of 3 times, I think, in the course
been
of
here a
10
lot.
days or so.
Yeah, that one, the right side 2x4, everyone comments on the fact that it got twisted. And I always say, he knows.
He knows.
He knows.
I'm
knows.
aware.
So what's the plan for that?
You know what? Backdrop, nice neutral color palette, some trim, maybe some plants, real professional yet intimate. And we can look right at each other when we're speaking to each other. Nice warm wash of light if you want to showcase a product or have like a deeper conversation than just coming on and joking and having kind of a lighthearted time like on your show.
Yes.
If we want to do some coverage that is really, I keep going back to intimate, but it's a little bit closer shot. And man, I'm excited. It's going to be nice. Maybe Uncle Brando and me will do some CCO over there.
Oh yeah,
CCO on the bearskin rug.
that's it. Topless, tarps off.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's how we like to do it.
Tarps only off. That's the only option.
So say you wanted to start your own show and use this new set. Maybe you want to send us an email.
Ooh, you like using that thing, eh?
Contact at dufferinav.com. You can also head to our website, dufferinav.com. All your friends are heading there, so you might as well come by and say hello over at dufferinav.com.
How come they have to be so long? How come they have to?
I don't write the lyrics. We're, what's it, contractually obligated to make sure we put on all of those words.
Yes, we
That's
are.
how it goes.
Yeah.
So
and-
new studio, everything's looking fantastic here. What is going on in Calgary, November
man.
15th to the 17th?
15th to 17th is the Western Canadian Tour Championship weekend.
Woo!
There's nothing more difficult to say than the name of that.
big one. Hi, Maggie.
I guess that gaming convention.
Yes.
And what it is a funnel, the next step in the kind of route or whatever you have to do if you, as a Magic the Gathering player, want to make it to the Pro Tour and the World Championship. So there is both of those things for a trading card game. And
So cool.
in Canada, how it works is you have a local event that you can qualify for and get buys. I think we've talked about this a little bit on the show before.
Yeah.
And then there is a Canadian tour, so there's about 40 dates across the year in all of Canada that you can go and play at and try and win. And if you win or get top 4 or whatever, you get an invite to the Tour Championship weekend.
So do guys sort of like follow the tour around,
Yep.
like the McRib type of thing?
Yep,
Oh, that'd be
very
so
much
sweet.
so.
I'd love to do that.
The kind of terms and conditions are always changing. Like how many buys do you get?
Yeah.
And what do you get an invite for? Or can you use an invite for a tour championship like out of your conference essentially? Like if instead of the Calgary weekend this weekend, if I want to go to the Ottawa weekend, because the Ottawa weekend is during a different season, it's a different format of card play.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
So it's like if Calgary was Texas Hold'em poker,
Yeah.
then the Ottawa weekend could have been like
Omaha.
Rummy or Crazy
Like,
Eights
yeah.
or Uno, like a different game, right?
Yeah.
So can I use my qualification from this tournament for this season, blah, blah, blah. But
Interesting.
you get to the championship weekend, and the top 8 competitors from that, like once they play in the first day, you got to make day 2, 8 rounds of Magic. You got to win best of 3 8 times in a row.
Jeez.
Yeah, you got to essentially get 8 wins on day 1 in 9 or 10 rounds, depending on how many people are.
How long does it take to play a game? A competitive game? In that situation?
A competitive round is best of 3, and it's an hour. And it would take you about 40 or 45 minutes to do. And then you can go to turns, it's called, where you run out of game clock, and whoever's turn it is turn 0. And you go to turn 5, and then whoever's got the most like life points remaining is the winner.
Man, oh man.
Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of
That's a lot
competitive
going on.
rules enforcement rules. If you make day 2, the cut to day 2 is like top 64 or top 128 or whatever, however many the math shakes out to.
Yeah.
Then you got to play again to cut to the top 8 competitors. Top 8 competitors win cash or store credit equivalents with the tournament organizer that puts it on.
Is this Fusion?
No, this is face-to-face games.
Face-to-face games.
Face-to-face games.
We
Yep.
also love them.
Yeah, we like
Yes.
them.
Okay.
And then the top 8 competitors get an invite to the next Pro Tour. And the Pro Tours are all over the place, like Europe or Chicago or Vegas or Texas.
Those are the ones you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Amsterdam. We missed Amsterdam. I was so
yep.
upset.
Yep, and the winner of the championship weekend gets an auto invite to the World Championship of Magic the Gathering in Las Vegas next June. And in addition to that, they get some top 8 competitor, like super ultra rare trading cards that are usually because, like in Canada, there's 32 top 8 competitors from championship weekends, right? So there's 2 from the East, 2 from the West, top 8 each, 32 of them. And that's how many of this card is given out in the whole country. So they're usually worth, in addition to the cash or store credit money and
You get like an
invites that these guys
ultra-rare
get,
card
they
as
get
well.
like a
Yeah.
$2,000 or $3,000 Magic card that then they can turn
so
around
sweet.
and sell. So these guys are playing for what can turn into pretty big money, like thousands of dollars.
Boys, let's go ahead and get Frankie rolling here. I'll try to time it out. Just let me know when it's running.
We got to get it blasting on the big speakers.
That'd be sweet. It's running right now? Okay.
I mean, we are Dufferin Ave Media Network. We could have somebody come in and just rip us just a sick techno remix to Frankie's Fingers.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, with the big like
I get
the build up.
Yeah, and then the big drop at the end. I could get behind that for sure.
Yeah, we could definitely do that.
So CCO is going to be there, by the way. You got the house all packed up. You got
up.
everything ready to roll, and you're going to be saying hi to all of our friends in Calgary. Very,
Yep.
very excited for that.
People from BC, people from Portland, people from Kansas coming, people guy
So
from
cool.
Toronto's coming.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
It's going to be a
tons
lot of fun. So very excited for that. I'm even going to try to sneak out there at some point, possibly, maybe. I really
you
want
can't
to.
come.
Okay, never mind. It's been an incredible incredible start to this work week. Thank you to everybody who showed up. I want to say a very special thank you, and I'm so sorry to my buddy Kyle. He is a Rhino baseball player. He also works with Stealth Media. I was there earlier this afternoon and put on the worst display of reading you've ever heard. Not so much reading. It was a great display of reading at the end, but memory. I have no memory. I've learned this. And we tried to get me... Yeah. So to everyone that had to sit around for that hour, it was the most embarrassing time I've ever had when it comes to anything like that. But luckily, once we got the teleprompter rolling, it was all good, and we nailed it, and we got it done. So thank you again to Igor and Kyle and the team over at Stealth Media as we get set for the Spirit of Cosmo breakfast going on November 20th. Very excited for that as well. Thank you to Coach Mazer, a.k.a. Coach, 2, for stopping by and talking some sports, which is always good. Our Rider Insider, the great LB, getting us recapped from the game on Saturday and then getting us a little bit ready for the game coming up this Saturday with the Western Final in Winnipeg. He will be in on Friday to get us ready one more time for that big game. And to this guy, to Network Ryan, thank you to you for always lightening the mood in here and telling everyone about all the renovations going on and what we're getting up to moving forward.
There we go.
That was a lot, eh? Bless you.
Yeah, keep it down in there, would you?
As we
I'm trying
are-
to record a show.
Yeah, we're getting ready. Getting ready to record a viewing room.
I'm excited about viewing room. I'm excited for my my Lord of the Rings invite. I'm still waiting.
Once they do that. Until tomorrow, remember, karma is very, very real. Do good things. They'll start happening to you. I promise. That's how we will make this world a better place. Have a great rest of your Monday. Peace.